Antonio Guterres warned that the volatile situation in Myanmar had the potential to destabilize the region. Nearly 125,000 Rohingya have fled Myanmar, and some 400 have been killed by the army and extremist Buddhists since August the 25th, following the start of a new wave of violence. Let's cross over to Washington now. Joining us via Skype is Ilhan Cagri with the Muslim Public Affairs Council. Many thanks for joining us here on Press TV. Now, we just heard Antonio Guterres condemn the situation in Myanmar, calling for the humanitarian rights of the Rohingyas to be restored. However, do you feel that the UN has done enough as far as its role goes in quelling that persecution of Rohingya Muslims?
No, I do not. I don't think any international body that has authority or any government has done enough to quell the violence. This is an ongoing violent situation. The Rohingya have been persecuted for years. They have been treated as persona non, just unacceptable people. They're considered illegal immigrants in the country of Myanmar and have no rights, no access to health care, no access to education. They can't register their children. And there has been, violence and burnings led by the military as well as by the monks and other civilians. And I don't think anybody or any group has taken a stand. Actually, people can bring pressure, more pressure on Aung San Suu Kyi, who has won the Nobel Peace Prize and has said nothing about this. So I think this is very embarrassing for her. And I think a lot more pressure can be brought to bear.
Well, speaking of Aung San Suu Kyi, you just mentioned that this should be very embarrassing for her, but she doesn't seem very disturbed by the situation. Why do you think that is so?
I can only, well, there's two reasons. One is that they say because she is in a tenuous situation in Burma and that Myanmar, and that she is sort of sharing power with the military, that she does not want to upset the balance of power. However, she has been on the the opposite side of governance in Myanmar for a long time. She was under house arrest for many, many years, and she has a record for supposedly standing up for justice. So we're expecting the same thing from her now, and I can only assume that it's prejudice or racism where she's willing to fight for quote unquote the Burmese people, but not the Rohingya, which she deems are, I guess not worthy of her, of her attention. So that's the only thing that I can see it. I can't understand it any other way.
Right now, over the past at Press TV, we've covered how the Rohingya have been facing a lot of persecution in Myanmar, and this is perhaps one of the worst bouts of persecutions we've seen. However, it's nothing new to the Rohingya people, and a lot of the blame by many analysts was put on the Obama administration for removing some of the sanctions on Myanmar and pretending as if all is well and the country is entering this new era of democracy.
I think President Obama was optimistic. I think that he believed in engagement. He did the same thing with Iran. He felt that, if we open up doors of communication and diplomacy and engagement, that we can bring pressure on countries in a different way rather than in an antagonistic and oppositional way. And I think that was his plan. I certainly don't think that Obama would have said, yes, it's okay for you to really to actually commit genocide against a whole group of people, and for him not to say anything. I know that he would not have condoned this.
All right, let's leave it there for now. That's Ilhan Cagri with the Muslim Public Affairs Council joining us via Skype from Washington. Ms. Cagri, thank you very much indeed for your comments here on Press TV.